Here's a question. What would actually happen to you if you fell into a black hole? And I don't mean the Hollywood version where you float through some magical wormhole and end up in a library behind your daughter's bookshelf. I mean, what would physically, scientifically happen to your body? Because the answer is somehow both horrifying and fascinating at the same time. And it involves a process with the single greatest name in all of physics: spaghettification. Yeah, that's a real scientific term. We'll get to it. Okay, quick refresher. A black hole is what happens when a massive star, way bigger than our sun, dies and collapses in on itself. All of that mass gets crushed into an incredibly tiny point called a singularity. And the gravity around that point is so intense that nothing can escape it. Not matter, not light, not your hopes and dreams, nothing. The boundary around a black hole where the escape velocity exceeds the speed of light is called the event horizon. Think of it like a point of no return. Once you cross it, you're done. There's no coming back. The universe basically says no refunds. Fun fact, black holes don't actually suck things in like a vacuum cleaner. If you replaced our sun with a black hole of the same mass, Earth would keep orbiting normally. It would just be very, very dark and very, very cold, and we'd all be dead. But orbit-wise, we'd be fine. So let's say you somehow find yourself falling toward a black hole. Maybe your spaceship broke down. Maybe you lost a bet. It doesn't matter. At first, honestly, nothing too dramatic happens. Space around you still looks mostly normal. You can see stars, you're just floating. It's almost peaceful. But here's where things get weird. As you get closer, you start to notice something strange. The stars behind the black hole start to look warped. Light from distant stars is being bent around the black hole's gravity, creating this effect called gravitational lensing. And if someone far away was watching you fall, say your friend staying safely on the spaceship, they would see something really bizarre. To them, you would appear to slow down as you approach the event horizon. You'd move slower and slower and slower, your image getting redder and dimmer until you eventually just freeze. A faint, red, motionless smudge at the edge of the black hole. But from your perspective, you sail right through. You don't even notice the moment you cross it. There's no wall, no barrier, no dramatic threshold. You just keep falling, which is somehow even more terrifying. All right. Now, the fun part. And by fun, I mean absolutely nightmarish. As you fall deeper past the event horizon, the gravitational pull on your body starts to become uneven. The gravity pulling on your feet, which are closer to the singularity, is significantly stronger than the gravity pulling on your head. This difference in gravitational force is called a tidal force. And in a black hole, these tidal forces are extreme. What happens next is that your body starts to get stretched. Your feet are being pulled harder than your head, so you begin to elongate. You're getting taller and thinner and taller and thinner. This is spaghettification. That's the actual scientific term. Your body is literally being stretched out like a piece of spaghetti, and it doesn't stop there. While you're being stretched vertically, you're also being compressed horizontally, squeezed from the sides. So you're being pulled into a long, thin, noodle-like strand of what used to be a person. Now, how quickly this happens depends on the size of the black hole. If it's a smaller black hole, the tidal forces hit you before you even cross the event horizon. You'd be torn apart well before you reach the point of no return. But if it's a supermassive black hole, you could cross the event horizon comfortably without feeling anything. The spaghettification would happen later, deeper inside. I'm not sure which scenario is worse, honestly. Here's another brain-melting detail. As you fall deeper into the black hole, time itself starts behaving strangely. Einstein's theory of general relativity tells us that gravity warps time. The stronger the gravity, the slower time moves relative to the outside universe. So while you're falling, the entire future of the outside universe would theoretically speed up from your perspective. Stars being born and dying, galaxies colliding, the heat death of the universe. All of it would flash before your eyes in fast forward, assuming you could somehow survive long enough to see it, which you absolutely cannot. And to the very center of the black hole lies the singularity, a point of supposedly infinite density and zero volume. Every law of physics we know breaks down at this point. Our math literally produces infinities, which in physics is basically the universe's way of saying, I don't know either. Nobody knows what actually happens at the singularity. Some physicists think it could be a gateway to another universe. Others think space-time itself ceases to exist. The honest answer is we simply don't know. And that's kind of the most unsettling part. So, to recap your black hole experience, you approach peacefully, reality starts bending around you, your friend watches you freeze and fade into a red smudge. You sail through an invisible boundary. You get stretched into a human noodle. Time goes haywire. And then you hit a point where physics itself gives up. Not exactly a 5-star trip. But here's the thing that gets me. Black holes are real. They're out there right now. There's one at the center of our galaxy, Sagittarius A star, and it's about 4 million times the mass of our sun. And in 2019, we actually photographed one for the first time. That blurry orange donut image you probably saw everywhere, that was a real black hole, a real place where all of this would actually happen. The universe is full of things that sound like they should only exist in science fiction. Black holes are proof that reality is stranger than anything we could make up. And honestly, if the universe is going to kill you, getting turned into spaghetti is at least a memorable way to go. If you found this interesting, drop a comment and let me know what topic you want me to explain next. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.